Hi everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing all of my completed pages from all the Rita Berman books that I have. In the past I've done some kind of collection videos. I think I did one for Clara Markova, but I don't know if I got around to doing any other videos. And of course throughout the years I've done videos sharing what I've coloured throughout a whole year and my initial collection when I first started my channel and things like that. So I have probably shown most of these pages in some video or another because I do also do my completed pages. But I thought it'd be nice to just do a roundup really of all my Rita Berman pages because I love her books. I've been working in them more and more over the past few months, pretty much ever since my Europa came out. I've been working in her books constantly, and I think I've completed like 8 pages or so far in 2022, which is quite good for me considering I've only completed like 25 pages overall. So the fact that almost a third of them are Rita Berman I think shows how much I'm enjoying her books. And yeah, I just want to show my appreciation for her books because I absolutely love them. I did do a colour and chat type of video where I did my Rita Berman giveaway for 5k I think a few months ago, but I think I just quickly flipped through the pages. I don't think I properly did them and showed them properly, but I saw Shelley from Shell's Colouring Journey do this really recently, and I just want to shout her out as well because I absolutely love her channel and she's doing so well with it. She only started a few months ago and I love watching her videos, and her colouring especially in Rita Berman's books are so gorgeous, and I've actually done a buddy colour with her. And also I think Erica's definitely done a Rita Berman collection video. Erica from Uncolored, Kay from Colouring with Kay, and I just like seeing the collection videos. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to get started. I do have all of her books, and I do actually have a couple of duplicates as well for reasons I will explain. So I'm going to get started with Mein Spaziergang durch die Jahreszeiten. So this is the Through the Seasons book, and this was, I think, one of the first Rita Berman books I got. I got this at the same time as the Spring Walk book. I never worked in the Spring Walk book because I had this one, and at the time I was just focusing on this book because I thought, well, the more pages I do in this, the closer I'll get to it being finished. And also because some of the pages repeated, I didn't want to start working in the spring one. Anyway, when I wasn't really working in this book anymore and I still had the spring one, there were lots of pages in here that I wanted to redo. So a few months ago, I think at the end of 2021, I decided to get the rest of the seasons books individually. So instead of working in this, I'm now working in the individual books, and there are so many gorgeous pages in those books that aren't even included in here. So I really like that now, and I'm trying to get round to at least one page every couple of months from the seasons books. But I will show you all of the pages in here anyway. As I said, I don't really work in it anymore. My style has changed a lot, and I think I got this in 2019, so talking 3 years ago. It definitely has changed a lot. So we've got this one. I think this was Crayola. This was a book that I worked in a lot over the summer when we were in America. I took this and a few other books, but it was such a small, compact book to take, and I did lots of pages. So if I can remember which ones, I will let you know. This one was definitely in America. I think, again, this was Crayola, and I bought a few Jelly Roll Stardust. So I got a orange, pink and blue, and decided to do orange, pink and blue flowers and add the embellishments on top. I think I also got the gold Jelly Roll Metallic at that point as well. This one was early 2019, so a fair amount of these pictures were probably shown on my channel around that time. I remember doing this, I think, when we were in the Lake District for a bit in half term, and I remember sharing, maybe it wasn't this one, I think it might have been another page that I shared in a very early vlog, and the quality of that was not great, but it was fun to do. That was Holbein, and that was when I kind of first got my Holbeins. I haven't marked any of these pages, unfortunately, but I've done quite a few, so I'll just flick through them. This was one of the later pages that I did. I have a feeling this was potentially 2020, 2021, and I don't really like it. I think it might have been 2021 actually, because it was one of the last pages that I did. I just feel like it's rushed. I used Prismacolor and the Posca glitter pens, and I was, yeah, just rushing to get it done. I think it was one day in the Easter holidays and I just did it. Yeah, it's not one of my favourites, but I have an opportunity to do it again in the new copy, so that's nice. This one was a mixture of Faber-Castell and the Faber-Castell Eco pencils and maybe Holbein or Prismacolor. Actually, it's Prismacolor, I think. Again, I just feel like with a lot of these early pages, they're just very pastel and muted. Not to say that the work that I do now isn't that, it definitely is. I think that's what many people have said, you know, my pictures remind them of when they see them. But I just went for the same sort of colour palettes over and over again, and I'm trying to mix up my my colour palettes a bit and not just stick to the same colours, because I could tell you exactly what colours I used for some bits because I just reached for them so often. We have Wink of Stella on that as well. I don't really use Wink of Stella anymore because it transfers over the pages, and fixative didn't seem to work when I tried it. Maybe I just don't have the right sort, but I like using it for cards and things, and I do still have it and really like them. Then we have this one. This was a fairly recent one. I don't know exactly when. This is one of my favourites in the book actually, and again, whilst I'm happy with it, I just feel like I could do it a lot better now. I would definitely add a background in, some sort of gradiated background. I just feel like it's a little bit bare having all of the white here. And this was how I used to do my flowers. I still do them sometimes like this, but I just faded out. So the outer bit of the petal isn't even coloured in anything. And I just feel like against the white, it doesn't work quite as well. So it's definitely changed in some respects how my style works. Again, with the feather, it's just white against white. So, you know, there are things that I would change, but I still really enjoyed doing all of these pages at the time. And I'll definitely keep this. This one was inspired by Steph from Red Tifa, who sadly no longer is making videos at the moment, but her colouring was gorgeous and I always was inspired by her so much. So yeah, I pretty much copied it as hers looked. It was amazing. I did pastel for the background and same sorts of pencils, I think. I blacked out this swan so it would go and added white gel pen. Things like that. I was actually a bit nervous to do that because I was worried that my fine liner would bleed through, but it didn't, which I was happy about. I've got this dragonfly. I did really enjoy doing this one, and there's so much glitter on here. That's mainly stardust. This was all Holbein, I think, and some pastel for the background. Did take a while doing all of those embellishments, but I like the limited colour palette. I think if and when I do this one again, I would stick to a traditional colour of a dragonfly. I do like the jewelled emerald tones and things like that. This one was definitely during America. I remember doing this one. I started off with Faber-Castells and then I got the Crayola halfway through, so I finished it off with those. Again, I feel like the background probably needs something else. If I did this again, I would do more of a forest themed colour palette. I'd do a darker brown. Probably stick to the eggs the way they are because I really like them, but do the green leaves, do slightly darker red berries, maybe even a green background. I don't know, but I was challenging myself not to use green, so I was quite happy about that. Just trying something a bit different. This is one of my favourites. I really want to get around to doing that one in the summer book at some point. Now this one was definitely during the Lake District vlog. I do really like this actually. I think this was the first page I did that got me back into the book. The only page I'd done for a while was the page that I'll show you in the winter section, and then I started working on this one and the leaf page that I shared, and yeah, that's really what got me back into it. I used Holbein. This was when I first got them, and oh sorry, I think it's gone out of focus a little bit. There we go, I think it's all right. And yeah, I used colours I wouldn't normally use, so I think if I did this again, maybe I would stick to the same thing. I'm not sure. I don't even know what they're meant to be. I think they're coasters, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I do actually like how that turned out, especially these ones. And it didn't bother me actually that it was a repeated pattern. I enjoyed the repetition, so that was nice. I've got this one. I remember doing some of this on a live stream, How to say, not my favourite page. I don't really like some of the bright things that I coloured on here, and also just the blending. I used really cheap Norris Statler pencils for some reason in conjunction with other pencils, and they just didn't work that well. I think I was challenging myself to just use budget pencils for this page, and usually I can try and manipulate budget pencils so that you can't really tell. Like Faber-Castell Classics I really like, and I think they work great, but for some reason, yeah, I just don't quite like it as much as some of the other pages. But there you go. I used neon gel pen for some of the background bits. Get a little glitter on that. I do like these pages. I really want to do more of these in the other books where you have all of the elements. I just think it needs a background as well. I really like doing backgrounds. I don't get bored doing them too often unless it's a huge space. Whereas with this, the thing I like is that the areas are all quite small. You know, you don't have a massive expanse of it, and it makes it a lot easier when I use pencil. If it was a bigger area, I'd probably use pastel. Then we have this one. This was again in America. I remember doing this one. That was Faber-Castell's and Prismacolor, I think. And my accents back then used to be Jelly Roll Stardust and Uniball Signo Silver. They were kind of the main things I used. This was all Crayola. Again, not one of my favourites. Now I do add more depth with Crayola. I've kind of figured out how to work around them. But yeah, I probably wouldn't use as much brown now on this page, but it's a nice one to do. And again, just because I'm not as happy with them now doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy doing them at the time. I actually really like this one. If I did it again, I would stick to the same sort of colour palette, except I would just deepen some of the shadows. And I enjoyed using glitter gel pens for this. I used some unusual colours. Oh, sorry, shit the camera. Yeah, some unusual colours that I wouldn't normally use. In fact, I just got a set of them with some cool colours in. So yeah, I do really like this one. Still haven't really figured out what it's meant to be. I think it's just lots of leaves and things, and I really like it. I love the pages where Rita does just kind of draw and let her imagination run wild. They're the ones that I like, because yes, they're sort of pattern pages, but I don't get bored doing them, and I never get bored doing a Rita Berman page because her artwork is just stunning. Now, I do have less in the autumn and winter sections, so okay, I've got this one. This was again one of the more recent pages, but we're still talking probably about a year and a half ago at least, maybe October 2020. It was one of those pages where I just wanted to get a page done really quickly, and I think it shows. I think I used like 3 Prismacolors for the blending of the pumpkins, and then 2 greens, and then just did all of these squiggles with Uniball Silver and an orange gel pen, and it didn't take long, and I definitely think it shows. Again, I would put a background in, some sort of background. I just think it needs it. Possibly I would even be a bit braver now and maybe draw in, I don't know, kind of a ground with shadows and things underneath the pumpkins, and then bits of green to show that it was in a field or something. I'm not sure, but I just don't really like that one. I think partly because it's orange, and orange has never been my favourite colour either. We've got this one. This was the first page that I did, and then I didn't work in the book for ages, and then, as I said, I came back to it. I just feel like the pastel I used was really muted, and again with the leaves, I just didn't blend them as much on the outside. Just kind of left them. Didn't take long. I think it was fun to do, but I don't really know why I picked it as my first page either. Oh, no, I know why, because I did get it in September, October time, so I thought I'll do an autumn picture. I really like the owl though. I think there may be a couple more. Yeah, snowflakes, again, not one of my favourites. It was nice to do. I liked using just a limited amount of colours, but, you know, it just, I feel like it needs something else. It needs a background, or needs some sort of variation to it, or I need to slightly change my blending. Like with the snowflake here, I didn't go right to the edge, so it just looks a bit bare, I guess. But, you know, these are all my opinions on my pictures, and I guess I'm quite harsh on myself, but that's just because I like seeing the progression of my pages, and I appreciate the fact that this is what I used to do, and I recognise how my style has changed, which does make me really happy, and it's nice looking back on older pictures. So then we have this one. This was an advent calendar page, and this was a few Prismacolor. I definitely didn't stick to doing one a day. I probably rushed and did sometimes 5 or 6 in one day because I just didn't have time. But it was nice doing a limited colour palette, and I had some glitter gel pen and things on there, which was really fun. We've got one more. Yeah, this one. So this was a page that I did for Valentine's Day, or around Valentine's Day. I think this was 2020. Lots of glitter gel pen. I would probably do it quite similar. I think the background doesn't look quite right on the actual heart, and I would maybe branch out and try a few different colours, be a bit bolder with some of the colours that I picked. But yeah, that's that one. So that's everything in that book. They're really the bulk of my pages. In all my other books, I've done sort of 3-4 pages in each of them, which is pretty good for me, but this was where it started with Rita Berman. So that's her first book. Some of them I still haven't managed to get around to working in, just because I am a seasonal colourist. Next we have Die Welt unter der Lupe zu Wasser by Rita Berman. I don't need to keep saying by Rita Berman because they're all by Rita Berman, but anyway. This one I haven't really done much in, and I do want to work in it, and there's a reason why I was kind of not really working in it. I did this page, which I use gouache for, and it's a little bit buckled. That doesn't really bother me, but I want to go over it with pencil and deepen it, and use my pencils that I love using in her books, which are Luminance and Black Widows, and just add to it. I feel like even 2-3 years later it needs something, and I thought that with this book I'd just use water medium, but I've changed my mind. I really want to work in this with pencil. The other small page that I did, I've actually ended up taking out. It's this one, and it's because I used gouache, but I didn't really know what I was doing at that point, and I used really, really thick layers of gouache, and I don't like it at all. Luckily, the binding meant that I could really easily take this out. It did mean I had to take this page out as well, but honestly that doesn't bother me. All of these pages are gorgeous, but they're all sea themed, so it doesn't really matter that I sacrifice one page. But this is so easy to do. I just got my knife and gently just cut it and pulled it out, and it hasn't ruined the book at all. So I'm very pleased about that. I am I'm one of those people that if I do a page that I'm not as happy with in a book, I don't gravitate towards the book after, even though there are so many other gorgeous images. It's silly, I know, but that's just how I am. But now that that's not in the book anymore, I'm very excited to work in it, and I think the first thing that I will do is fix this page at the beginning. So I'm looking forward to doing that, maybe even this month if I have a spare half an hour or so, but we'll see. Then we have Die Welt unter der Lupe zu Lande. This is my first copy. I have 2 copies. So again with this book I did a lot of pages when I first got the book, and there are things that I want to redo. There's a page in particular, a couple, that I love and I want to redo at some point, and there are some that I'm not as happy with. So we have this one. Just, it's a bit boring. I don't know what I would do differently about it. I haven't got that far, but all of the brown, it's just a bit brown. And I would try and make it a bit more exciting if I could. But that was just really simple with polychromos and white gel pen. This one was fun. I remember doing this. This was Faber-Castell Eco Pencils and Classics, I think. This was when I was starting to develop my style a bit, and actually, trying to make things look as good as I could make them at the time. This leaf one, I just got really bored doing all the leaves, and also one of the pencils was getting really short, and I knew I wouldn't be able to finish it anyway. So that is going to be a forever whip. I will definitely not be coming back to that, and if I do, it will be in my new copy. This is one of my absolute favourite pages I've probably ever done. I loved doing it. I think this was 2019. I just can't wait to redo this one. I didn't get around to doing it this year, but I would really like to do it soon. So this was Faber-Castell Ecos classic pencils and white gel pen. Pretty much all of the pages of those. So I'll let you know otherwise if that's not the case. And we've got these two. Not really happy with them looking back. I don't like the background. I used a blender, a Caran d'Ache full stick blender, and it just came out really, really weirdly. And it's just all a bit much. I don't know. This one, I like it. The ground bit, not really a fan of the colour, but they were, again, fun to do at the time. I actually really like the colour I used for the beetles here. So that's something that I would do. But I used polychromos and Prismacolor for this. And also I'm more, I guess, considerate of the fact that these pages could have gone together as sort of a double spread. So maybe if I'd thought about it a bit more, I would have tried to make them even more cohesive. I just think the blue background I wouldn't do again. But there you go. What else have we got? I've done quite a few in here. Got this one. This is a whip. Actually really like how this one came out. I just never got around to finishing it because there's quite a lot of repetition with things. But I like these leaves. I can't remember exactly what colours I used, but I would do it similarly to how I've started it. So it was nice to experiment with different colours of leaves rather than just doing them all standard green like I usually do. Got this one again, one of my absolute favourites. I would do a lot of things the same on this page. The purple maybe was a little bit out there and wasn't something I'd totally go for again. Maybe a different type of purple, but a lovely autumnal picture that I thoroughly enjoyed doing. So I think all it needs is a proper background. Maybe the same with the wreath. Did I do a background? Yeah, maybe that could have done with the background, just a light green or something, but yeah. I love the wreath ones. Got this one, not one of my favourites that I guess I enjoyed doing just because it was a repetition page, but I wanted something fun, you know, quick to do for an autumnal inspired piece, and just to do a limited colour palette as well. I think it was a colour palette challenge that Colour with Claire set. So just the brown, green, purple, pink. I think got one more. A whip, yes. This was meant to be a colour along way back when I started my channel, 2019. Didn't go around to doing it. Started doing it up here. Looks alright. I would maybe try and deepen the shadows and things and change up this pink, definitely. But that's the colour palette if you're interested. For the leaf that I never got around, sorry, not the leaf, the petal that I never got around to doing the colour along for, but they have that, and I think that's everything. So that's my first copy of Die Welt unter der Lupe Zeelander. Then we have my second copy. So I've done a few in here already, and I only got this fairly recently. So this was the first one that I did. Black Widows and, yeah, just Black Widows, no luminance in this. Really pleased with it, and I like that I didn't just do green leaves, I did the blue in as well. And yeah, that was a really sweet one, I like that. Then I have this one. This was last summer. The leaves took ages, but I'm really pleased with the result. And I used polychromos for the rose, Black Widows and luminance for the rest of it. And then all my embellishments are either Jelly Roll Glaze, Gold Jelly Roll Metallic, or the Stardust Clear Glitter Paint by Calero. And I think I had like a single Pablo pencil. I don't have the set of those. I have like 12 of them. I absolutely love them and they work really well on this paper, but they're so expensive. Maybe I'll be able to get a couple more open stock in the future, but I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I can get the whole set, but they're gorgeous. And they work really well with the Black Widows as well. I use them quite a bit on these leaves, I think. And then I did this one. This was the buddy colour that I did with Shelley. I did just share this in my last completed pages, so I won't spend long on it, but I really enjoyed this as well. I tried to do a limited colour palette. I was inspired by Emma Bridgewater for the mugs and the teapot, and the Bon Maman company. They do honey and jams and things, and I wanted to replicate the honey for this and tried a bokeh background, which was something new that I hadn't done before. So yeah, really enjoyed it, and I drew in the tablecloth. I've got one more in here. Yeah, this was from December time. I think I did it in December. Absolutely thrilled with it. I really like this one, and this was one I wanted to get around to in my last copy and I didn't, so I decided to do it in this. This is just Black Widow, lots of pointillism with the white gel pen for the snow. And I used quite a few of the new colours from the Dragon set. So the Dark Knight colour I used a lot on this. And yeah, some glitter paint as well. So, oh, and white gel pen. And again, with it being a repeated pattern, didn't bother me at all. I loved doing it. And it was a really relaxing page to do. And I decided to sort of change around how I was going to blend the background bit. So I did the darker bit in the centre and then faded it out slightly, which I enjoyed doing. So that's that one. So I'm quite proud of myself that I've really got around to 4 pages in this book, considering I've only had it since summer 2021, and obviously then My Rise of Europa came out, so I was working on that quite a lot. But this will be one that I definitely continue to work in. Then we have 2 books that I haven't actually worked in yet, but I'll show you what they are anyway. So they are Mein Herbst Spaziergang and Mein Winter Spaziergang. So these are the autumn and winter books. I did get the autumn, winter and summer books, as I mentioned, to make up my collection, I think September time last year, and I was very busy around that time and just didn't have time to get around to them. But I have worked in the spring and the summer ones, so hopefully when we get around to autumn I will work in this one, and then when we get around to winter I'll work in this one as well. They're really beautiful books. The autumn one has slightly different paper, well my copy does anyway, and some different illustrations which are really cool as well. I love that mushroom one especially. I could be wrong, I think this was the first book that Rita illustrated. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure if I'm right. And I don't do enough autumn pictures anyway, so it'd be nice to do one and do the different autumn colour palettes as well. And then again with the winter one, so many gorgeous images. And as I've said with this when I've shared it before, just because it's the winter book doesn't mean that all of them are Christmassy. Some of them are definitely Christmassy, but there are others that just work really well as being winter pages. So yes, I'm a seasonal colourist, but I would happily work in the winter book until February time, because technically we're still in winter then. So they're ones that I'm really looking forward to working in soon. Then we have the spring book. I've done one in here. I did this a couple of months ago. It's this one. So this is a page that wasn't originally in the Four Seasons book. This was all Black Widows, and this is my favourite colour to colour for butterflies, and I love it. I've done it for so many different pages, and I wanted to do that colour palette and just transfer it over to the whole page. I've shown this in my colour combinations video. I think it was the March and April one. I did these cherry blossoms, which I was really proud of, and experimented with just doing a block colour background. So previously with backgrounds I've done gradiated backgrounds, and I just feel like they take away from the overall image as a whole, because I try to do gradients and shading with the elements. So I have figured out now that I really like just doing the block colour backgrounds. They suit this style a lot more for me, so I really enjoyed doing that and love the colour especially. I think it's called Bruise from the Dragon set. So yeah, very limited colours for this one, but very fun to do. And same embellishments as usual. And I didn't get around to another page from here when we were in spring. I'm working in the summer book at the moment, but I can't wait to work in that soon. So then we have the summer book. So I've got a double spread in here that I just finished last month, and I'm working on another page at the moment. So again, I won't spend too long on either of them because I'll be talking about the page I'm working on at the moment in my completed pages. This one is probably one of the pages I'm most proud of that I've ever coloured in general, I think. Definitely one of my favourite Rita Berman pages that I've done, but I just love doing it every second, even with all of the waves that were repeating. I just loved doing them. It was during exam season as well, so it's really nice to just pick up a pencil and do a bit of work here and there on it. So many embellishments on here. We've got Posca pen as well, outlining some things. I loved doing the fish and not just doing a standard orange colour that I would have gone for a couple of years ago. Just trying something different with the pink in there, pink and green, purple and green. And yeah, it was just so much fun. And I did a gradiated background from blue and then into pink, and Also, the fact that I tackled a double spread, I'm quite proud of myself for doing that as well. I think it's the only double spread I've done this year, and I don't really do double spreads that much. Or if I do them, I work on one page and then the other, like I have in my Europa. But yeah, I'm really chuffed with this page, and I'm sure you as well have those pages that you are really proud of yourself for. And I don't really know, I can't really explain why I like it compared to other pages, but yeah, I think it's just one that I enjoyed doing every minute that I was colouring it, and I didn't get bored, which is good for me, because considering it's a double spread, usually I just rush to get them finished. I've said this before, I used to just do them as quickly as possible, and I've learned that that's just not the way to go for me, because then I don't get the outcome that I want with it. So yeah, this is one that I really like, and can't wait to hopefully do more pages in this book after the one I've finished as well. I may get a couple more in actually before autumn, so that'll be nice. But yeah, that's that one, and I will just share with you my other page that I've done as well. So yeah, the page that I'm working on at the moment, this is my current WIP, is this one. This is a buddy colour with my cousin Rosie. I'm not sure if she's finished it, but we were working on this when we went to Devon. I didn't get a lot done, be honest. Yeah, we didn't really have that much time. We were so busy doing loads of lovely things. I didn't colour that much, but I am loving it. Again, I'm doing one of my solid backgrounds, and I'm picking a colour that I wouldn't normally go for the background, because I use pink all the time, but not this sort of, it's sort of like light magenta from Polychromos. It's quite a bright pink, and usually I would go for a really muted pastel pink, and this still is one, but it's a different shade, I guess. This is the Lady Jane colour from the Dragon set from Black Widows. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and once I finish the background, I'll probably work more on doing some of the leaves. I definitely want to do more of the leaves this colour, because I really like how they're coming out. I hope I wrote down the colour palette. I'm not sure if I did, but I have a rough idea what colours they were anyway. So yeah, just a really fun one with loads of berries and fruit, and should hopefully get it done by the end of June. So that's that one. It's the summer book. Hopefully I'll get a couple more pages out of that done. And then the final book I have to share with you is Meine Reise durch Europa, probably my favourite book by Rita, but I love all of her books, and as I've shown, I'm trying to work in her other books as well, so that, you know, I'm continuously finishing pictures, in the books that I'm gradually getting more done. So this one I've done 4 spreads, 8 pictures, but I did them at different times. So yeah, I coloured them so they were double spreads, but they don't necessarily need to be double spreads if you don't want them to be. This is the most recent one that I've done. I do have a picture that I'm hoping to do in June. It's a buddy colour with K, but I haven't started it yet. But we have this one, which is the most recent one, as I said. This one I did around Valentine's Day, didn't quite get it done in February. I think I did it in March. And then this one, which I did last month, and this one is all Black Widows and Luminance again, and yeah, really fun. My favourite bit to do was the flowers, and this flower combo, and I enjoyed searching up colours and things to do for the houses as well, because this is part of the Paris section. The only thing which I think maybe I slightly rushed was some elements on this page, just because I really wanted to get it done, but I tried to not rush as much as I could. But yeah, they're pretty much the same colour palette actually. I only added a couple more colours for this page because I felt like it needed it. I needed more blues and things for the landscape. But yeah, that's that one. Then we have this one. So again, they were done at separate times. I did this page first and then this one. Definitely prefer this page, I think, just because I had fun doing the background, and it works slightly better as a page for me in terms of how it came out, because I really enjoyed doing all the waves and things. But yeah, a more unusual colour palette for me, I think. There are some colours that I definitely wouldn't have normally gone for, but I like. And I've written down the colour palettes because lots of the houses look quite similar in some of the pages here, so I want to try and make them look as similar as possible. and that was all Black Widow and Luminance as well. So they're the pencils that I typically use in this book. Then we have these pages. This was the first spread that I did, and I tried to do it as quickly as I could when I got the book from Rita, but it still took me about 3 weeks. I was really taking my time with it. I did a tutorial for how I did the background. The background was really fun to do, and then just slowly worked on it bit by bit. Originally I was just going to do this picture, and then I ended up just making it a double spread because I thought it worked really well, and I liked doing the penguins, oh my goodness, pigeons. It's been so long since I've done a video, I apologise. But yeah, really enjoyed it, and because it was autumnal colours as well, it was fun doing a colour palette that I don't do as often. That's that one. And then the last spread that I've done is this one. So this is the second one that I did. Again, I prefer this page. I think that's just because it's a wreath. I love wreaths, I'm a sucker for them, I love them. But this one I still think works well, and I'm glad that I decided to do a different background colour as well. I did do the same orange colour for the middle bit, but I like the green. And again, I didn't think the orange would work. I was a bit hesitant to do it, but I didn't really know what other colour I would do it. The only other colour I probably would have gone for was pink, but then I thought, well, I'm going to have pink in other parts of the picture, so I decided to not do that. But yeah, really chuffed with it as well. More of an autumnal colour palette as well, but slightly different. Could be a summer page, I guess, but the page that I will be doing at some point, once I finish my other whip, is this one, which I'm really excited about. I've got a couple of ideas for the different backgrounds that I want to do. I really hope I can get it done by the end of June, but we'll see. I'm being quite slow this month. I haven't had as much time, but yeah, that's Memorize de Europa, and I will continue working in this. Definitely. This is one that I eventually would like to complete, but the thing is with all of Rita's books, I love them so much, and I'm just trying to fill them up slowly. I don't want to rush the pages. There are some really nice summer pages in here that I could potentially do if I have time and get around to them. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to her new book as well. She has her journey through Asia, I think, is her new book that's coming out. I'm very excited for that because it will give me a chance to use some really cool colour palettes that, again, I wouldn't normally gravitate towards. And also I was studying, or I have studied, I should say, a gorgeous piece by Debussy, and he's one of my favourite composers, but one that we did was called Pagodes. It's obviously based on the pagodas, and it's based on this really fascinating instrument called the gamelan, which is an Indonesian instrument, and he was influenced by the Far East a lot. So I love that piece, and it always makes me think of the influences and what it sounds like, and I can't wait to be able to colour in that book. I just think it's going to be amazing. So yeah, that's everything that I have to share with you. I apologise, it's quite a long video. I didn't anticipate it being this long, but Rita's one of my favourite illustrators, and I'm so pleased that I've done this video because I realised, yes, I've shown all of the pages, or nearly all of them, in separate videos, but I want to share them all in one video together. So yeah, thank you so much all for watching. I really appreciate it as always. Everything will be down below in the description, and if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know down below, or you can email me. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Take care everyone, bye!